Alright, final week for the Dazzler Pass giveaway on February 1st. So if we hit 17,000 subs before then, I add one Dazzler Pass to the giveaway, and I also rank 3 King or Thanos as a bonus incentive. So we are very close. We are like pretty much at 16,800, and we got one more week to finish this thing off. So yeah, subscribe and let's get started. So I've been noticing a trend with my Alliance War assignments. It pretty much is always either Spiral or Beta Ray Bill. And the more I think about it, the more I am just like absolutely in love with this duo because they just get the job done so well. Like Spiral versus the Serpent right here. This Hazard Shift Serpent that is honestly one of the more difficult fights in this game. And like before Spiral came out, the best option was using Symbiote Supreme and just like tanking the hazard shift damage. It was not fun for a lot of people. But with Spiral in the game now, and her ability at like SIG 200 to just like get rid of any poison, incinerate, and shock, just makes the fight an absolute joke. And yeah, like her base abilities counter Serpent very well, so you pair that with like her ability to be one of the best hazard shift counters in the game, this problem fight becomes an absolute joke. And yeah, it's a very fun one for Serpent. Not for Serpent isn't having any fun, but Spiral is having a ton of fun. And yeah, here I go for the parry, which destroys the immortality, and yeah, fight done in under a minute. So very good start to this Alliance War. Then someone else took the domino because I didn't have like a counter for the domino. I think Spiral could probably take it, but it wouldn't be that pretty because her ruptures aren't guaranteed, so it'd be kind of 50-50. Now I have this K Bishop fight, and I was debating on doing the same thing with like the Morbius fight last time, making a pros and cons list of like why I should and should not show this, but honestly it could have been so much worse, and this was my first time ever doing this fight. Now I heard this fight was like a nightmare fight, so I was very nervous obviously because I don't really play Kate Bishop that much. Sorry, but like that's just, you know, that's just how I am. I'm a Hawkeye main, I'm not a Kate Bishop main, so I am very, like, I'm not super familiar with this character, to say the least. And you can obviously tell, because I am not playing her right at all. Like, my cold snaps are falling off. I only have one so far. And, you know, you want to have two, obviously, for maximum damage output. So, not looking too good for me right now. I also have to get the intercept with the evade counter, but I am not doing that for some reason. Here I dropped the heavy attack finally, so I have a refresh going, and there I like try to drop the SP1, but it like didn't work out since he went unstoppable, which is super annoying. And it's like, dang man, I am not having fun here right now. Like, this is just not going well in the slightest. Now the protection is back up, but now we finally have two cold snaps active at once, so like the fight is pretty much done. Even with the protection, like he just can't do anything about that like massive cold snap damage. And yeah, the fight is done, and that was like not even a bad fight time despite all my mistakes. So yeah, I did not play that well. I've seen videos of how to play it, and you know, props to those guys. They do it 1,000 times better than me, that's for sure. I do not know what I'm doing with that champion. Like, you know, assign me Hawkeye there, I'd probably get something going with like the ruptures with the Wiccan synergy, but K Bishop, yeah, whole different story. I am not good with her, I guess. Which is a bit crazy. Like, it's kind of crazy since they're so similar when it comes to playstyle, but it is what it is, man. Now we have this Red Skull here, and this is a very straightforward intercept, like ebb and flow intercept Red Skull. And the game plan here is to just like have the grit up at all times, and once we do that, the fight is pretty much very straightforward, since we just gotta pulverize this armor, make sure I have the grit up, and then drop the SP2, and yeah, the fight will be done. So yeah, here I drop it. The ebb and flow node doesn't really matter here since we have no debuff, so like he can't really purify anything from us that's important anyway. There I mess up. I need to get the intercept, but I'm just playing it terribly. But here I dropped the SP1, and look at his health bar. Vanished, just like completely vanished, man. It is so funny how fast he ends these path fights. And yeah, that was like what, a minute for like an ebb and flow intercept fight, not bad in the slightest. So now we have one of my favorite fights in this video. We have this Sentinel fight here, and I have said this since he first came out. He is the most fraudulent defender in this game. I know that he's scaring a lot of people, but if you have one champion, and I am of course talking about Beta Ray Bill, you will destroy this guy like on 99% of the nodes in the Alliance War map, just straight up. So yeah, I'll be completely honest, I am not scared in the slightest of Sentinel. I know a lot of players are because he has been like very scary on some nodes. This node especially, he is very scary, but I am not flinching. I do not think he has like any defensive threat if you're using Beta Ray Bill, and I stand by that, and here is the proof right here. So here I'm gonna drop the SP2, and yeah, fight's done. Pretty much like that's it. Like the fight's over now, because here I go for some SP1s, and look at this damage output. So here we're gonna drop the first one, and this is like a mini boss, by the way. Health pool just absolutely vanished, and yeah, now this fight is like officially done after a heavy attack to get rid of the protection into one more SP1, and yeah, there we go, man. Sentinel, send him to Cancun. Like that brother is sent packing. It's so crazy how good Beta Ray Bill is for all these like meta defenders, right? Sentinel destroys, Deathless Thanos, probably the best option for him currently in Alliance War. So yeah, man, it's so nice. And now we have the final fight here. We have this Sersi on Hazard Shift, Bleed, and Shock. And I know I said that this was the SIG 200 Spiral show, but it's kind of been like a Spiral and Bill show, man. They are just so good together. But yeah, we close out this video with some more SIG 200 Spiral gameplay. So the game plan here is to just like do the parry and like the light attack whiff to gain our fervors. Now once we're at like, what, 10, we can just go in freely and take no bleed or shock or whatever. So yeah, like now the fight is pretty much under control. I dropped the first SP1, and as you can see, even though she like has the glancing mechanic active, I can still inflict my ruptures just fine, because with the fervors I get increased ability accuracy for them, and that ability accuracy is so high to the point where glancing just does not matter. So yeah, absolutely like huge, and it's like so good for countering Sersi and other glancing characters such as Maestro, and this matchup is essentially over, man. Like, so dang good for this fight. Like, I was taken aback, but then again, it's a SIG 200 Spiral. I should not be this surprised because, you know, she's just that good. So yeah, a very quick and fun little Alliance War video. I just like, I'm loving Alliance War so far because I get to use Beta Ray Bill, get to use Spiral, just like two of my like modern favorites that I absolutely enjoy so much. So yeah, let me know your thoughts on these two characters, and more SIG 200 Spiral gameplay definitely coming soon. And yeah, that's about it for me.